What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers signing Marcus Smart, I think, was a huge pickup for several fronts. Obviously, him being a defensive point of attack type of guard that can defend 1 through 3 is something that this Lakers team desperately needs. Somebody that is ideal slotted alongside Luka Doncic. And I mean, I've even made the argument, several other people have made the argument of starting him alongside Luka. There's a lot of talks about Rui or Reeves. Personally, I think you go with Marcus Smart at the 2, bring Reeves off the bench, better maximize Austin Reeves. So that way you have Marcus Smart. Luka can be Luka. Smart can be that defensive point of attack guy that can defend 1s and 2s for you, even some 3s, right? And now Austin Reeves come off the bench when Luka goes to the bench, and now Austin Reeves can kind of take over the reins, and LeBron kind of continue to play off ball, or LeBron go to the bench, and then you could have Luka and Reeves kind of playing that two-man game. So personally, that would be the approach that I'd go, just because Rui Hachimura, I think his just off-ball three-point shooting is very valuable. But also, I think Marcus Smart, his best strengths with that 6'9" wingspan would be very beneficial in the 2 guard spot, especially with Luka. You're probably putting on 3s at times and stuff. Kind of putting him on to mask him, putting him defensively on who's going to be the least kind of impactful offensive player, right? Type of thing. But nonetheless, Marcus Smart, beyond that, also provides just that veteran leadership, a guy that has been there, done that. I talked about it when we got him, that, this is a guy that's been to NBA finals, that has been to multiple conference finals. That was a huge factor with the Boston Celtics. And Rob Pelinka recently spoke about how he's looking at Marcus Smart as a leader for this team, a leader in the locker room, leader just in general. And I do think that that's very valuable because the Lakers do have a lot of young players, but you want to have some balance, right? You want to have veterans mixed with youthfulness, right? Athleticism, all of that stuff. But it's nice to have that guy in the locker room that has kind of been there, done that. Now, look, there are pros and cons of Marcus Smart as a leader, as we saw with Boston. I've seen people make the argument, well, as soon as they got rid of him, they won a championship. Yes, but look at who they got. It's not like they got rid of Marcus Smart and then immediately won. No, they got rid of Marcus Smart, but brought in Derek White, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, if the Lakers traded Drew Holiday right now and ended up bringing in those 3 guys, they probably win a championship, right? So, again, context matters. Context is important, but it's the Lakers, so anything to try to discredit, a signing or an acquisition or something, of course, people are going to try to, oh, it's not that big. But one of the things that I talked about with Marcus Smart was that, his leadership, and even when he left Boston and Boston moved off of him, I had my concerns of okay, well, who's going to be that kind of voice, that leader for them? Is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown going to be able to step up and do that? Because Marcus Smart was that for them. He was the dog. There were times where Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown would kind of fade out, but Marcus Smart would be the guy to kind of keep everybody, rally the troops, do all that stuff. And it was okay, well, you lose him. Who's going to be that leader for this team, right? Then, like I said, they get Drew Holiday and all that stuff, and they were able to win an NBA championship. But now you're going to be able to get that with the Lakers. You're going to be able to get that experience. You're going to be able to get that voice, somebody that is willing to kind of step up and raise their hand and be the guy for the team, right? Guys are down or they're in a tough spot, kind of bring them together and rally the troops. I think that's very impactful. I think that's very important for any team to have that kind of vocal leader in the locker room, somebody that, one, isn't afraid to tell you when you're doing something wrong, right? But, again, there's levels. Marcus Smart at times can get a little too, passionate, but that's one of the things that I love about him. I mean, dating back to Oklahoma State, he was the guy I wanted the Lakers to draft, and then Boston ended up drafting him, and then, lo and behold, full circle, and even Marcus Smart talked about it. He had a chance to go to the Lakers in the draft when he was drafted, and now he's full circle back with the Lakers. And he's talked about how he wants to get his body right, and the conditioning and the health and all of that he wants to, he had a disappointing season last year, really last 2 years, and he really wants to kind of get his body right, get everything in order, because we need him. Right? I'm not expecting him to play all 82 games, but if he's healthy, that's huge for the Lakers, right? Because Memphis washed it. These teams were better with him on the basketball court. His defensive metrics are still impeccable, right? And he's the guy that could really be one of those guys that it's hard to take off the court because he is so impactful at that point of attack. You're talking about all, NBA type of defensive player. You're talking about a literal defensive player of the year, and a guy that's still, throughout all his faults, still has that defensive intensity and that effort. You never question Marcus Smart's effort. You never question what he brings to the basketball court. And having that kind of guy, I think, can be a major difference maker. Guy that's willing to do the dirty work, right? Like losing Dorian Finney-Smith hurts because not just him and what he does in the box score, but all the things that you miss that don't show up in the box score, all the little impact plays, all the winning plays. Marcus Smart talked about when we got him, like he's the Dorian Finney-Smith replacement. He's the guy that is that veteran, that is experienced, that knows what it takes to do X, Y, and Z that leads to a win. Like there are games that we might win that we wouldn't have won otherwise solely because of Marcus Smart. And it won't even show up in the box score. It won't be something that, no, it'll be something where he got a key deflection that bounced off the guy's leg and he's not ruled for this. It's just a turnover for the other team. Or, him batting a ball out to LeBron in transition or something. Like it's just these little nuanced plays that you don't really think in the scheme of things, but, he makes 3, 4, 5 of them over the course of a game. All of a sudden, you're winning those games. So he's a guy that I really do think brings a lot to this team. His three-point shooting can be a little wonky. Like one of my biggest complaints with Marcus Smart, even when he was in Boston, was his decision-making shooting threes at times. When he's on and he's cooking, let him fly. But there's times where he'd even at times even shoot Boston out of the games, right? And he gets a little trigger happy and shoots the shots up. But that was also several years ago. Things change, right? He's going to be within the structure. Also, you're not looking for him to be kind of like the main top-end guy. Maybe, potentially, depending on how this roster shapes up and, what ends up happening. But even then, it's very different when he's the guy, right? He's in Boston. He was drafted first. This is his team. This is his place. He's the leader. He's everything. It's another thing when you're going to a team like the Lakers and you're sought alongside Luka Doncic. You're sought alongside LeBron James, right? And Marcus Smart himself even talked about how, he's so happy that he doesn't have to defend Luka anymore, that now he gets to be his teammate and play and sought alongside him. That I think Marcus Smart is really going to have an impact on this Lakers team and is really going to, again, I think the Lakers are going to have a lot of just positives. It's just, can he stay on the basketball court? That's literally the only question with Marcus Smart, is just, can he stay on the basketball court? Can he stay healthy? And if he does, then, you might not have been able to get a better guy, even via trade, than Marcus Smart, and you got him for free. So, again, this could potentially be huge. I love kind of all the buzz going around. I love the things that Marcus Smart has been saying. I love the things that Rob Pelinka have been saying about Marcus Smart. I like it, right? But it's nice to say things. It's another thing to actually, produce it on the basketball court. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you want to like this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. And that subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.